Hello, welcome to Mediation. My name is Daniel Brainerd. Can I get your names, please? John, nice to meet you. How about you? Amy, it's nice to meet you too. Please have a seat. First off, I'd like to thank you for coming. First off, I'd like to establish a time frame. Are there any time conflictions? No? Perfect. How does 1 to 2 hours sound for both of you? Perfect. All right. Well, first off, I'd like to talk about the purpose of mediation. The purpose of mediation is to come to a mutual agreement, which is determined by you two. My job as a mediator is to be an unbiased third party. I am not here to take sides. And at any point in the mediation where I feel as if I'm being biased or I'm leaning to one side of the party, I can remove myself from the case, and another mediator will be sent in. Okay. Now I'm going to explain to you the process of what you're going to be dealing with. Each of you will talk about your side of the story and what you both would like to come from today. We'll also focus on the main points or the main conflicts that both of you have. Hopefully, this will help us generate some solutions, and we'll both talk about the solutions that both of you have, and hopefully we'll choose one. There may come a point in the mediation where there seems to be an impasse when it comes to picking a solution, where neither of you will pick a solution and be stubborn about it. This is very common. You are not the first couple to do this. Don't be offended by this, but I call this phase the drunk guy phase. I call it that because when this phase occurs, I picture two guys at the bar, and they're arguing over who they believe is the best NFL quarterback. As one guy talks about why he believes his guy is the best, the other person disagrees and says why his guy is the other best. As they both continue to argue, the whole atmosphere of the bar just goes down, and everyone's not having a great time. And that's how I feel when we're in mediation, when we're going through this whole process and everything seems to be clicking and everything's going great. When we come to solutions, to picking solutions, the vibe just goes down when disagreements occur, and the problem solving just goes down, and it seems that we're starting over to stage one. So if this occurs, I will call for a caucus. Now, when that occurs, that means I'm going to talk to each one of you individually, while the other one will be escorted out into the waiting room. And at this point, it gives us one-on-one time to talk about your main concerns, and hopefully we can generate some solutions. And if at any point in the caucus where you feel as if the information that you're giving me, you don't want the other party to know about, please inform me, and that information will be confidential and only between us. Now, before we continue, I'm going to talk about confidentiality, as I was on that subject. Everything that is said in this room is completely confidential. The notes that I'm going to be taking with today will be shredded and destroyed, so no one will know what happened in this room. Okay? Cool. Now, before I continue, this whole process, does this sound like something that you both would want to commit to? Great. Awesome. And now I'm going to read the consent forms. Okay. I agree that everything that is said at Mountain Mediation Services is completely confidential, intended for use only as a settlement discussion, and cannot be used by the district attorney or the courts for any purpose. I understand the exception to this rule of confidentiality concerns any information related to child abuse, neglect, and or abuse of disabled adults by by law cannot be held confidential. I agree that I will not hold Mountain Mediation Services responsible for any agreements made or the failure to reach agreement during mediation. I further agree that I will not involve Mountain Mediation Services, the mediators, employees, staff, board of directors, volunteers, or records of Mountain Mediation Services in any way in any claim or court proceeding. I agree and acknowledge that Mountain Mediation Services gives no opinion regarding the legal effect of this consent to mediation or any agreement or resolution that is reached as a result of mediations. I agree that if a question of legal rights should arise, the parties or seeking information and or advice should seek the information and or advice from an attorney of their choice. I understand that weapons and physical conflict are not permitted. At Mountain Mediation Services, I agree to abide by this policy. I also understand that Mountain Mediation Services retains the right to report any crimes committed on the premises. Do you both agree to this? Perfect. Now, if you could please sign and date this. Perfect. Next, I'd like to go over a little bit of ground rules. For me, I like to point out that how about we allow one person to talk at a time? We're all adults here. I think we should each give each other that respect. Great. And please talk through me, not each other. That's why we're here. And do you both have cell phones on you? If you could please turn your cell phones off, that would help out a lot. And do any of you have weapons? Because if you do, those weapons need to be brought to me. No? Okay. Oh, you do? Okay. Thank you. You'll get this back at the end of the mediation. Okay. Next. Oh, you have more weapons. Wow. Wow, rough girl. More? Really? Oh, jeez. You don't kid around with safety. Okay. Do you have any more weapons? No? Okay, perfect. Do either of you have any questions? Oh, yes. Why no cell phones? That's a great question. Well, one, it comes back to the confidentiality. That we feel as though if you're texting while the other person's talking, you could be sending out information from this room to a person outside who doesn't really need to know anything what's going on in the room. And two, they're really just a distraction. If you're texting or your phone's vibrating in your pocket, you really more pay attention to your cell phone and not really at the task at hand and what the goal is here today. So it's just best if you just turn off your cell phone. Okay. Any other questions? All right, let's get this started. Who brought the complaint? John? Okay. Since you brought the complaint, I'd like to start with you today, if that's okay with you. Amy? Perfect. All right. Okay, John. What brought you to mediation today?